This is a follow-on video from the overview in which I dealt with the major issues involving why people are objecting so much to the wearing of face masks or face coverings. And that revolves around people have the right of informed consent and refusal. I discussed that I would be dealing with different jurisdictions in different countries, and this particular one is going to deal with the United States, and it's going to deal United States of America, and it's going to deal with 5 different states and how they went about bringing the face mask coverings orders into effect. Some were done by governors, others were done by secretaries of health. But what is common to all of these is that each and every one of these states has recognized the pandemic has originated in Wuhan. Some of the states have recognized the fact that the World Health Organization declared a pandemic, and in their declarations they have mentioned that. And in fact, in the declaration from the United States government and President Donald Trump declaring a national emergency concerning the novel coronavirus outbreak, that also mentions about the World Health Organization as a pandemic. And the reason I'm focusing on this is because of the fact that when you're talking about the World Health Organization, that is part of the United Nations. And the United States has adopted and was among some of the first countries to be involved in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which I have here. And in this declaration, in specific articles, which I previously mentioned, deals with the issue of informed consent and the dignity of the individual. This is recognized now more or less worldwide by the countries that have adopted it, and by the United States recognizing it. All the different states also automatically recognize it. So I'll move on then. Apart from that declaration, what is very important is the preamble to the Bill of Rights and the Bill of Rights. And I'm going to deal with a few different articles in the Bill of Rights. And how these, I believe, affect your rights as the individual to not have to wear the face mask. Basically because you have to give informed consent to wearing it. That is your right. And that is your privilege to give a refusal of consent. Now, this was first recognized by the state of state of California in the judgment of Truman v. Thomas in relation to what is known as the principle involving what is known as the principle of informed refusal, is where a person has refused a recommended form of treatment based on understanding of the facts and implications. Now, I consider the wearing of the mask, because it is, in most cases, issued by secretaries of health in each of the different states, or the governor on the recommendation of secretaries of health, that it is, you could be considered to be a form of a treatment. In other words, they're saying that this will prevent you from getting this, supposedly COVID malady, whatever you want to call it, Chinese malady, whether it is a true flu or whether it is a manufactured concocted flu. We all have our views on that, but of course we're still in the dark because the China government is not allowing the World Health Organization to go in and do a proper investigation. And the World Health Organization did declare recently that they were sending an advanced team to see if they could basically get access to the lab to find out what has happened. Now, a lot of states, and the 5 states I'm going to deal with here are California, Connecticut, Michigan, Texas, and Washington, only for the sake of not having enough time to deal with each state. But if other people want to contact me from their state, that's fine. I'll be glad to assist them in relation to being able to send a letter of objection based on their informed consent of their right to exercise that other right of informed refusal. Now, what affects all these face covering masks, I think, are 3 specific amendments: the 4th Amendment, the 5th, and the 14th Amendment. Now, the 4th Amendment, which I showed here previously, but I'll put it up there again just to make it easier. It's over here, the 4th Amendment. And the 5th Amendment is under it. There. And the 14th Amendment. And what I have to say about this is that under the 4th Amendment, people have the right to be secure in their persons and effects against unreasonable search. Now, what I consider is happening is I've seen videos where people have just gone in for Dunkin' Donuts. Once saw something lately from a man in Tennessee, a pastor in Tennessee, where he was basically accosted because he wasn't wearing a face mask. And he was being questioned in a Dunkin' Donuts, which is considered to be under U.S. law a public accommodation. And there cannot be no discrimination in public accommodations. This is an entire discrimination against this man or against other people in this instance because he's actually being questioned. And this is really an unreasonable search. Now, the next thing I want to get on to is the 5th Amendment, which is where you cannot be a witness against your own self and possibly be deprived of liberty without due process of law. Now, I've seen other videos where people are being stopped and accosted by law officers or security guards or wherever at shopping centers or other public accommodations. And what I consider is the police are acting as a judge in their own cause because you're not wearing a mask. In effect, you become a witness against yourself for the fact that they're looking at you because you're not wearing a mask. I consider this to be a matter of self-incrimination. Now, the next thing I want to deal with is the 14th Amendment, and is that no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge privilege and immunities of citizens in regard to equal protection of laws. Now, I consider what has happened in most of these states is, and I'm not singling them out or picking them out, I'm just pointing out the fact that I believe here there is not equal protection here in regards to the laws because the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights is the supreme mother document, founding document for the people of the United States. And they're entitled under that Constitution, the 14th Amendment, to have equal protection under the laws. But as I explained in the Fourth and Fifth Amendment just a minute ago, you can see how people are being discriminated against, and this is not equal protection under the laws. So what's happening is there's discrimination and victimization here under the 14th Amendment at public accommodations for not wearing a face mask or covering, and this is a denial of equal protection. Now, I'm going to go into each state now, and what is rather peculiar is that a lot of the states, for instance, in California, this declaration was made on the 4th of March. Early on, declaring a state of emergency, speaking about Wuhan and the world epidemic. And so in the early days of this epidemic, many of the states, for instance, Connecticut, which I'll show here, again, they made a declaration on the 10th of March in relation to the state of emergency. They spoke about the the World Health Organization. Michigan made one here on the 10th of March also. And it's spoken about here in this declaration again about the World Health Organization. And Texas made one on the same day as the United States made it. The United States government, they made it on the 13th of March, 2020. So this is an example of government and states' rights and being able to control things locally. But it's also the fact that the U.S. government, by this declaration of Donald Trump, which was done on the 13th of March, and also mentions the World Health Organization. And the pandemic. Confirms the fact that many times localities can be more in tune with what's going on than a federal government or a state government. Some of these individual states in different counties have invoked their own face mask orders or provisions, mandatory, and there's a lot of dissatisfaction because one of the things that's very important is the right of the individual, the right of the person to dignity and integrity of the person. I just have a little bit of it here. And right of integrity of the person is involved in all of these face mask orders for each one of these states. And it also, each of those states defers that their laws shall not abridge the laws of the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I believe this has happened, and I believe people can seek redress by sending a copy of the letter which I have prepared, which will be in each bundle for each state here that I've mentioned. So what I would like to focus on here is in the state of Connecticut, Under this declaration here, and it's around this last line here, but what it is here, it says, you do not have to produce evidence of why you do not want to wear a face covering. This is a very good provision. I'm glad that they did this in Connecticut because of the fact having to do this is becoming a witness against yourself and self-incrimination, which is all wrong. This is the declaration here. I'm not going to go into it all for California about face mask wearing, and it's made by the Department of Health, and that was made on the 13th of July. Connecticut's one was made on the 17th, I believe, of April. Yeah. Their declaration in relation to face masks was made on the 17th of April. And Michigan's one was, in regard to the face mask, was made, I believe, on the 17th of July. If I'm correct, yeah, I am. And it's here on the last page. And what is peculiar here in section, I believe it's section 6 here, it says, nothing in this order shall be taken to abridge protections guaranteed by the state or federal constitution under these emergency circumstances. All right. So here again, you have protection under the Bill of Rights, and if you think that your rights have been breached, I believe you should have the right of redress, because most state constitutions say that you do have a right of redress for your grievance, and you should also be able to protest about this. And this is the one by the state of Texas, Governor Abbott here. This is a very well-written order. I'm very impressed by it. Initially, they were having the police involved and maybe people being incarcerated, but they revoked that, and they said that nobody could be put into jail. The executive order, which was the 2nd of July last, and what's very pertinent here for people in Texas is this executive order hereby prohibits confinement in jail as a penalty for the violation of any face covering order by any jurisdiction. All right? And here it is, the signature of Governor Abbott. And a nice thing in the Texas Constitution is here, in Section 1, I've only briefly set out a few sections, but Section 1 here, it speaks about the freedom and sovereignty of the state. Texas is a free and independent state subject only to the Constitution of the United States and the maintenance of our free institutions, and the perpetuity of the Union dependent upon the preservation of the right of local self-government unimpaired to all states. So this will give people protection under the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights if they feel that that their rights have been violated in relation to being confronted or stopped about face masks. Now, this is the last one I'll get into here is the order of for the face mask coverings. This was made in the state of Washington on the 24th of July, just about a week ago, I believe, 2020. And it's done by the Secretary of Health, John Wiseman. And I'll just show the last page. Now, people can go through each one of these, and people in the states will, in each of those individual states, will know the effects of this this order against them, against their person, and whether they consider it to be an unreasonable search and violation of their rights under the Bill of Rights or the local constitution of the state. And I thank you for clicking on here, and I hope people will assert their rights and send letters if they feel that they're being victimized in relation to the wearing of face masks. It is a personal choice. I myself am against this forced face mask wearing because I don't believe it will be effective to curb whatever this malady is that came from China, because the mask only covers the nose and the mouth. You have to inhale, you have to exhale, and there's no way that you will not get whatever is supposed to be in the aerosol. Apart from that, it can go in through your eyes and through your ears and on your skin. So I don't believe there is enough definitive proofs and evidence put forward for people to make completely informed decisions. And it is the duty of each one of these persons who sign these orders to ensure that when they're making this order, that they have the background information, the supporting information, the corroborative information there for people to go through and say, yes, you've given me enough here to make an informed decision as to whether I should consent to this in terms of an informed consent, or whether I should exercise my right of informed refusal. And again, any neighboring states or adjoining states, if people want to contact me, send a message on my website, patc.ie. I'll be more than happy to assist them. Thank you.